So Elon Musk brings out that big rig, all electric, pulls up there to the glitz and the glamour, and you say he stole 3 pages from the Steve Jobs playbook: storytelling, design, and user experience.
Absolutely. First of all, I mean, it's his home court, just like Jobs always did. You're going to have a friendly audience. He shows up, he's beautifully styled, comes out like a gunslinger, looks you right in the eye, and he talks about the future, not his technology. He talks about how the world's moving. Fantastic. Fantastic storytelling, great narrative, got people caught up in the fact that this is possible, even though he's yet really to deliver on his own core business. He had you believing in the future.
What surprised me was that despite the fact he could literally flip a switch and make that all-electric big rig a fully autonomous big rig, the nerd in me went, that's the exciting part, but you point out he made virtually no mention of that.
I mean, the last thing he wants to be the part of the narrative that he's taking drivers out of the truck. So he didn't call it a driverless truck, it was an automated truck. But then he used, the big smackdown was to the diesel industry in general. The performance of this car, how it's going to change the future, not just the carbon footprint, it won't jackknife. In fact, it can haul more. He created everything, this massive snowball, and you're right, he hid the real fact is, and by the way, you can do it all without the driver.
So how do you sell this to a trucking industry that is dealing with so razor thin a margin in the first place?
On the economics, and that's what he'll do. He'll go after it and saying the cost per mile of running this vehicle, take the labor out for a minute, take the driver out. He's making a compelling case. This is a much better investment with lack of wear, how long the motor can last. He's going to guarantee it for 1 million miles. I mean, big statements that are coming out. Maintenance, obviously coming in off the cloud versus the impact of what is going on right now, how long it's going to be on the road, and he hasn't even yet to slide in. And by the way, you can do it all without having the cost of having that driver.
But you point out that he unveiled this at the same time he's having trouble getting the core business up and running.
What I want to understand about Musk, because he's a visionary, but Edison kind of concentrated on electricity, Rockefeller oil, Steve Jobs consumer electronics. This guy's trying to colonize Mars, take us all off the grid at the home, land rockets on a pallet in the ocean, recyclable rockets. Core cars, is he just someone that imagines the future and has vision for the future, or is he capable of executing? Because ultimately, whether he puts a dent in the universe or not is, can he monetize his vision? Can he take these Leonardo da Vinci pages that he creates and have it so they become commonplace in society? It's not just desire, he makes it feasible. So
I guess the biggest risk to making a bet on Elon Musk is if he can't get those cars out the door, people are going to say, why would I buy your semi?
Without question. That's what they're looking at. The investors are saying, can we not just focus on your home court? You've got a lot of people that put deposits down. Every quarter you're falling short. You're bleeding almost $1 billion a year on this business. Can we not get superb execution and get what's out the door that you promised today versus worried about the future?
But even if he does manage to get that going, there's going to be tremendous blowback from, to your point, the people who will no longer be the driver in a driverless truck.
Not just the driver in the driverless truck, the whole fossil fuel industry. And America's becoming the next superpower in it. So from the fracking and production right through to engine building, engine repair, distribution of the gas stations, all of this is at risk if you buy into Musk's vision. So there's going to be a blowback across the board. There's going to be, from a very simple for politics to get in and say, we're going to do it to protect the job. Then he'll say, well, he'll argue the safety card. This is a much safer thing than having somebody that might fall asleep at the wheel. So it's going to be a game of poker back and forth, but I do believe that the future is knocking at our door, and guys like Musk know there's an appetite for it, with a lot of social consequence that goes with the fact we're taking out so many jobs.
Loblaw answered that knock.
What a brilliant move. What a chess move. First of all, they put 25 deposits down to $125,000. That's like a rounding error. They get all this attention right now that they've done it. They signal to the shareholders and consumer, we want to be part of the future that doesn't rely on fossil fuels and carbon. And guess what? When those trucks arrive in the first in Canada, and they have Loblaw and PC all over them, they're going to get tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars of free publicity, all for just literally almost no money down.
So this is more of a PR move than, say, fighting the Amazon threat?
I think it's very much a PR move. It's very independent of Amazon. This is all about signaling to their customer base that they are Canada pro-environment. This is where they're heading. They're a younger brand. They're a friendlier brand, more human brand. And again, they're very smart marketers, Loblaws. They know what's going to look like when those trucks first show up and they've got their logos all over it. A year from now, they'll just be a truck. But right now, they're going to be that purple cow in a herd of Jersey cattle.
Tell me, though, How comfortable are you going to feel bombing along the highway, looking over, and there's nobody behind the wheel of that big rig beside you?
You know, my comfort is, I think driverless. My new car has a lot of driverless features in terms of telling me when things are beside me and stuff. I think technology is the future. I think we are going to move to driverless. My concern is we've yet to figure out as a society, what are we going to do when technology used to enable our life and make our jobs better are suddenly displacing us? And not talking about penknives, but machete wounds. They're going to take millions of people out of the workforce in the next couple of years, probably the next decade, and trucks are just one of them. And I think overall as a society, we have to come to terms of what does society look like when humans don't have jobs to define who they are and their purpose.